falters, shot fake, takes it strong, had it poked away, deflects to Jones, left wing, around to Tschetter, right wing, a three ball, bottom! Will Tschetter sizzling! Yet another Will Tschetter dynamite play. Tschetter,
He's old school throwback where the team comes first, second, and third.
Will Tschetter does all the intangibles. He's that blue-collar worker.
I grew up in Stewartville, Minnesota, about 15 minutes south of Rochester. Growing up on a farm with hundreds of acres, we were able to, kind of explore the outdoors.
Raising 3 boys out here on the farm has been amazing.
Standing at attention out there.
They learn about animals, they learn about plants and trees, and they learn about work.
Summers were just shooting hoops and fishing and playing outside. My parents were awesome enough to pour like a concrete basketball court in our backyard. My mom played basketball at North Dakota State, all-time leading scorer there.
I played center. I wanted him to be physical in the lane. You know what I appreciated, or what I think is a good post player. We've just spent a lot of hours out there. You only get so much time to spend with your kids, and it's really a fun thing to do with them.
If you ask anyone who knows me, like, oh, what does Will enjoy doing? It's probably playing basketball and fishing.
I would get a tap on the shoulder at 5 in the morning as soon as the sun would come up. When are we going fishing? When are we going fishing?
At the age of 12, we finally just bought him his own fishing boat because Garth was sick of getting up at 6 a.m.
He'd be out fishing in his little boat, and he'd come back and he'd tell, I caught these huge fish, these huge bass, or these huge northerns.
That's just kind of like the ongoing joke that if you don't have a picture with a weight, then, oh, Will, you're exaggerating.
When he was probably about 14, we see this little 12-foot boat barreling into shore and him screaming at the top of his lungs to get the camera.
There's no live well in this boat, so I flooded the back of the boat. I pulled the plug, filled it up with water, and drove the fish home because I had forgotten my phone. And they were like, oh, no way you flooded the boat just to show us the fish. And they wouldn't have believed me otherwise.
When he's out fishing, there's a competitive nature in him. I think that reflects him in how he approaches school, how he approaches relationships with people, and how he plays basketball too.
Last year was probably the toughest year of basketball I've ever experienced.
School record for losses, finished last in the Big Ten.
I like to think of myself as someone who stays pretty positive, but it was definitely hard to stay the course. At the end of the season, and Coach Howard parted ways. There's just a lot of unknowns. There's just a lot of question marks on, what was going to happen.
Immediately after signing the contract, my first call when I got to my house was to Coach Howard. He gave me a glowing recommendation of Will Tschetter. And so I was extremely excited to meet Will based on the things that Coach Howard had told me about him as a person more than as a basketball player.
With the hiring with Coach May, after like 15 minutes of talking to him, I think I knew that I was going to be coming back.
I just remember being extremely energetic, outgoing, personable. As you're thinking about building a program and a team, he can find a way to add value to that squad.
His sell to me was we're going to be an unselfish basketball team.
Tschetter hit one earlier. Pippen, he'll try a three and hit.
Nice delivery on the pass by Tschetter.
We're gonna recruit unselfish guys. We're gonna recruit guys who buy into the team. It just made sense for me to stay. On those first couple recruiting visits, I was the only guy who was on the team at that point. So just going to recruiting dinners, trying to convince guys to come here and play for him. I think like our first 6 visits we had, I think we went like 6 for 6.
That's Will. I don't think we've had anyone around our program that wasn't completely drawn to his energy, to his curiosity, and just his overall view and attitude towards life. The thing he impacts most on the floor, other than his shooting and his skill, is his physicality, his intensity. He's diving on the floor. He's giving his body up for the team.
Super fortunate for the situation to work out the way it did and for us to be having the season that we're having.